Okay, guys. Right, I've only got a couple of days to go, and I've made an appointment to see Billy. I've had to make the appointment because going to his bar each time, he's never bloody there. So I'm going to review. Well, I've read his book he gave me, Fish and Testicles. Wrong way round, I know, but yeah, it's a little bit of his life story in a way, but with a bit of fun in it. He's a great writer, Billy, fantastic, so I'm hoping to try and glean a few little bits off him. And he's also given me another book. He's just popped out for some fags at the moment, but he's given me a book, Tits and Teeth. So it's my birthday today, so I had these. It's my birthday present, so there you go. So it should be fun. I'm with Dennis as well.
Back again.
Back again. Oh, there he is. Talk of the devil, here he is. And I Bill.
Hello, mate.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see me again as well.
Yeah, on camera. Okay, well, as I said, it's about a week or so ago that I re-met Billy. I haven't seen him for a year, and we had a good old chat. And we had a little bit of an interview, which you probably all know, on the last one, which went down well. So I thought I'd, before I go back, come and have another word with Billy. And what I want to do, and I'm sure the readers would like it, is to know a little bit more about his book, Fishing and Testicles. It's a fantastic read, so I would advise anyone, if they, you know, to buy it from Amazon. Amazon, yes, I think. Yeah. All right. Okay. Right, Billy. Okay. I don't know if you can have the light here. Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah. All right, Bill. Right. What I'd like to know, Bill, I know you've never done a life story as such, but I'm very intrigued because I used to know you or read about you many years ago when I was a young lad, and I think we're about the same age, but you had successes obviously on one side of the country while I was from down in Wales, which obviously is a different country, but even so, I tell you what intrigued me about your book is that you did jump from the present to the past all the way through the book, which I found very interesting. But I put in a chronological order some questions I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
Yeah. You mentioned about your dad. Was your dad a big influence to you when you were a youngster? Because you know.
Well, yeah. You have to excuse my voice. I'm a bit croaky. I've had man flu.
Man flu. I know we will.
Which women don't understand, but it's far worse than childbirth. It really is.
It is. I know.
Well, women just don't understand that.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Still a bit croaky. Hang on a moment.
Yeah, I've got to get some refreshments.
Bit of lubrication.
There you are.
I kind of wrote the thing. It's not an autobiography or anything.
No.
It's sort of a life story, a journey through a life of fishing.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan anything at all in the book.
No, okay, so you just...
As just one story would lead on to a memory of maybe 20 years later.
Right, so
I would jump onto that. So, as far as the chronology is concerned, it's whatever came to mind when I was typing it, you see.
Yeah, so I mean, I got to be honest, I was interested because I've never read a book quite like that. So,
no, probably not.
You've certainly, because you know, you started off obviously when you were young, very much like an autobiography, and you mentioned the Bridgewater Canal and your dad taking you on your lap and all that, and you used to have a three-wheeler. That was interesting.
A proper Del Boy, yeah.
Was it? Proper Del Boy. Well.
Most of my early fishing was on the back of a lambretta.
Right, lambretta.
Freezing my fishing and testicles off, you would not believe.
No, I can imagine,
You've never been cold till you've sat on the back of a lambretta in winter for 40, 50 miles.
Bloody hell. Yeah, going there and coming back.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. So your dad was a bit of an influence because he started you fishing, did he? Or?
Oh, yeah. So I was lucky so much that unlike all the contemporaries of my age, those kids who started off with a cane on a bent pin with cotton.
Yeah, that's right.
I tended to get my dad's cast-off tackle.
Yeah.
And as he was a match fisherman, the cast-off tackle was pretty good.
Yeah.
And the one thing that keeps you interested as a kid, of course, is catching fish.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And so he taught me how to catch fish. He gave me the tackle to catch fish. But as I got more and more into match fishing, I think Benny Ashes became a bigger influence.
All right, okay, I'm with you.
And we used to go around Benny's. Benny was one of the 2 top anglers in Britain, if not the world at the time. You know, the other one being Billy Lane.
Billy, yeah.
And we'd go around every Friday night, collect the maggots for not for the weekend, believe it or not, but for the weekend after that.
Oh, right, okay.
So you've got a week to turn them into casters.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Because you couldn't buy casters in those days.
No,
You had to do your own. And he always invited us round into his kitchen for a cup of tea, and he sort of treated me as almost a surrogate son.
Oh, fair enough.
So I learned a tremendous amount. By the time I was 13 or 14, I tapped into sort of half a lifetime of fishing.
I was going to say,
that Benny would give me. What would it take me 20 years to learn?
Yeah.
I picked up on a Friday evening over the course of a couple of years, you see.
Well, you know, you were obviously very, very fortunate because you're talking about 2 of the legends of angling here, you know, and to have a head start like that must have been fantastic.
Well, you know, I write for Match Fishing magazine now, and I've done that a little bit more chronologically.
Yeah.
And I've gone through that. Another mentor I had who gave me a tremendous amount of information was Ivan Marks.
Ivan, oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so.
You were saying about Ivan Marks as well?
Yes, when I moved down to the Midlands, completely different kind of fishing altogether, particularly bream fishing.
Right.
And Ivan sat behind me one day at Attenborough Gravels, when I was in way over my head. I'd never caught 4-pound bream. I had no tackle, no knowledge whatsoever.
Okay.
And Ivan sat behind me for 3 hours, and I got 20 years of experience in my head in 3 hours from Ivan.
Bloody fantastic.
So, you know, I almost came out an accomplished breamer because I learned so much in 3 hours. So I was very, very lucky to, you know, if you were to say, Billy Lane and Benny Ashworth were the best anglers of their era.
Yeah.
The next era along, Ivan was the best angler
He was,
in the country, or if not the world at the time.
Yeah.
So I've had 2 of the world's top anglers teaching me, you know, so
Well,
I'm very, very lucky.
I was fortunate enough to meet Ivan, and you know, he gave me great praise like when I won the World Championships.
Oh, yes.
You know, called me the Welsh Wizard for a while, but good friend. You know, I become very friendly with him, and we used to see him in Ireland. But I want to talk to you a little bit because I know when you were young, before you actually lived in Lee, I think it was, wasn't it? Lee?
Close to Lee,
yeah. Mostly Lee, and then you moved. But what year was it when you moved up to the Midlands, would you say?
Well, I left.
Yeah.
I escaped the Northwest by joining the army.
Oh, I see. That's the question I was going to ask you then, because reading your book, you mentioned about your grammar school. Obviously, that's why you write so well. But secondly, I wondered how you jumped from grammar school to the British Gas and then the army. How did that work out?
Well, I left grammar school. I went to university then, Manchester University.
Yeah.
From the degree, I then signed up for the army.
Right. Okay.
I was offered a commission with the artillery.
Yeah.
And after the interview, I realised that my Lancashire accent did not fit in with the officer class.
No, of course not. You don't speak with a plum in your mouth.
I thought I was some hillbilly. So I decided to just join the ranks anyway, get away from Lancashire, and all my contemporaries in the training camp got Northern Ireland. And I was just so unlucky I got Singapore.
Well, not lucky or bad luck.
Wow, that was good luck.
That's how you look at it. Fair enough, yeah. And then I noticed you went to the British Gas then. Was it after you left the army?
I worked at British Gas for a year or 2.
Yeah, because there were some interesting stories there. You used to go to work to sleep or something, wasn't it?
More or less.
More or less.
Well, you know, it was so unionised at the time. Any form of work was instant dismissal. You just weren't allowed to work.
That was brilliant, that was.
And then from there I went I've just written the piece about it for match fishing this week.
Oh, right. Okay.
From there, I got the phone call one day from Jerry Woodcock.
Yes, I remember.
Wanted to make my floats, and I've now told the story of them going, working with Jerry.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And the float manufacturing, then going into building my own business. Making.
Okay. Well, I was going to come on to all that in a minute, Bill. But before we get onto there, I was found interesting because you're a bit of a ladies' man, really. And you always bloody have been.
Oh, very dare you.
Well, in fact, you made me laugh when your mum threatened you go blind if you... I thought that was funny. She's a threat, you just go blind if you...
It was only 4, though. Come on.
Well, it's enough to put anyone off, isn't it, you know?
Wasn't my fault, it was the girl next door.
Yeah, don't go near a woman, you go blind. I love that, fair dues. But your mum and dad obviously passed away. When did they go?
My mum passed away about 4 years ago. I was over here.
Oh, sorry.
My dad would be about 20 years ago.
Oh, right, okay. Sure. Yeah. Oh, well, you know, it's nice to know these things, you know, where you come from, and, you know, like, my family, my parents never went fishing, so I had to learn, you know, obviously from people who were in the fishing club, if you like, but as you say, you had a great start.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so it's all right, we just digressed then. We were talking about this other book, Tits and Teeth, which we'll have a little chat about in a minute, but what I want to do is get back to the beginning of Billy Makin, and I noticed that after the army you entered the British Gas, so when did the fisheries come into play? When did you decide you thought you'd have a fishery? You know, how did that all materialise?
Well, I always thought one way or another there was a way of making a living out of fishing, other than a fishing tackle shop or breeding maggots.
Okay, yeah.
But he was finding the little niche, and while I was there, I had nothing to do for a number of years, apart from chase the secretaries around the office. And I used to draw up plans for a fishery that I thought in the future I'm going to build this. And the only thing missing, of course, was money.
Yeah, but you had the insight, that's brilliant. Yeah, and, so what happened then? No money, so...
Well, no money. Then I went into the float game. I started earning a hell of a lot of money.
Did you? Right.
On the canal graze that Jerry did.
Yeah, it's very popular.
I did a couple of pro celebrity series for TV.
Okay.
Then I did a TV advert.
Right.
With the write-up I did on that was worth like
so that's how the
quid.
Never. Bloody. So that's how the money started coming in then. Oh,
I couldn't believe it. I was still earning money at British Gas.
Yeah.
A nice expensive car for sitting there doing bugger all or going fishing or pretending I was doing something, you know.
Yeah.
And I went in with Jerry Woodcock, and from there, when things went a little bit sour, set up my own float making business.
You did, okay. Yeah.
Learned a little bit about business itself, which was important. And from there, moved on to the fishery.
So how did you come about the fishery? Did you see a fishery for sale, or what was the story?
Well, I was driving all around the county. I was looking for a ready-made lake, and I saw this house, beautiful house, and I wanted to move up at the time. Yeah. And about half a mile from the house, I saw this sort of glistening in the distance. There was a lake that had been dug.
All right.
Big lake.
Yeah.
And I went to see the farmer, and I rented the lake off him. And that was the beginning.
And that was it. Yeah, right. Okay. And
I'd already decided that certain things that nobody perhaps thought of before.
Yeah.
I realised that the hardiest fish, and the one people like to catch more than anything else, were carp.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but they were so rare.
Yeah,
I stopped it with carp.
In them days, carp was a rarity, wasn't
very
it?
rare.
Yeah.
And then I thought, let's try barbly sucks, and let's get rid of keep nets.
Okay.
So I wasn't just the first person to really do the commercial fishery. Yeah. I was the one who banned keep nets, banned barbed hooks.
Right.
And then I started experimenting. I started with golden orf, chub, bauble, got a hell of a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
But all these things were new and unheard of.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You fair to say then, you must have one of the first commercial fisheries.
It was the first commercial,
was
yes.
it? And I always thought it was the Midlands, but it was how yours was right?
Nah.
Well.
And then it was so popular, I then moved along, built more lakes. I eventually bought the lakes from the farmer.
Right.
In our village, there was a drunken lady.
Yeah.
Almost titled. She thought she was, but she had a country manor.
Yeah.
And she'd inherited all this land, and she liked to whiskey.
Whiskey, okay, yeah.
And every few years, she ran out of money. So I used to go along, buy a piece of land off and put some more lakes there. And I finished up with 18 lakes and 5 stock ponds, all out of
red wine, was it, or whiskey?
Famous grouse.
Famous grouse.
That's what she drunk, about 2 bottles a day. She rapidly ran out of money, so I kept helping her out.
Well, that's fantastic. That was a fantastic story, that.
And pay the tax.
All right, well, anyway, I'm thanking Billy because obviously he's taken the time off today to come and visit me because he runs 2 successful bars in Pattaya, and as I said, they're both, they're both profitable, would you say? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. All right, then, well, anyway, talking about women and that, you've got some beautiful ladies working for you. I don't know whether you field test them, but...
I train them.
You train them? Well, that's even better.
I have 2 jobs.
Yeah?
I'm the official beer tester and the girl trainer.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm looking for an assistant. I'm catching up on me. 25 girls take a lot of training.
Bloody hell, I tell you, I'm sure that you'd have loads of volunteers from back home.
No.
Anyway, talking about ladies, your marriages. Now, how many times have you been married, Bill? Because I noticed you mentioned 1 or 2 back home.
A couple of times.
A couple of times.
And maybe something over here as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, all right, we won't go too much into his marriage side of it, but it was fun, though. What I read about you in the book. Yeah. And anyway, coming back to your lakes, I found it very interesting what you've done to the angling times. As you said, you got that Lucifer inside you, which you can't help yourself.
When I set him up on the lake.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
I had the poor buggers sat there. The worst storm England's ever witnessed.
Yeah.
On a lake where I only put the water in the day before.
And you brought them down to fish it. And you left them there, didn't you? Say, just keep feeding maggots.
No.
Yeah.
I said, put a gallon in.
Yeah.
A gallon each. Just keep spraying them. They sprayed them and sprayed them.
Yeah.
And one of my bailiffs came round and said, have you caught anything?
Yeah.
I said, no. Billy said, we'll empty it. And Morris, the bailiff, said, well, you will in a couple of weeks when we put some fish in. We only put the water in yesterday.
Well, that was brilliant. As he mentioned, he got that Lucifer inside him because throughout the book he talks about his little things he does. Sort of brilliant that was. And you mentioned about the Irish festivals, and I think it was it Mark Downs and Downs and Marksy had you one day. They stitched you up, didn't they?
What was it? The Fox.
Oh right.
What was it?
Let me see. Something to do with the club when you went to the club and
I woke up in the night with a screaming. And I'd had a few beers and I looked up Oh, basil brush it was.
Oh, right, yeah.
Bloody great porcelain basil brush.
Right.
With his teeth gleaming in the light at my throat.
Oh, dear.
And we'd already had 2 or 3 bombs go off in the village, so I was on edge anyway.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I jumped out, screamed, then the light came on, and Ivan and Mark Dowes were rolling, laughing away.
Because I know you mentioned about where you picked up a young lady and you had to take her back to a room or to a village, and they wouldn't let you in there, would they? The army, they wouldn't.
That was
another case.
That was when I got the windscreen shattered. The Dickie car driver.
Oh, Dickie car.
Yeah, he was driving. Where's an IRA village?
Oh, right, okay.
And the coppers, the guardian, took me to the edge of the village, and they wouldn't go in.
They wouldn't go in.
They made me go in on my own.
Bloody hell, took a chance there, Bill.
And I'd left all my old army kit in the car as well.
Oh, bloody hell.
I got away with it anyway.
Yeah, you got away with it. Well, you still had to tell the tale. But it's funny because we had some great fun in Ireland. I remember one time, this guy, he was a heavy sleeper.
Oh, yeah.
So they all picked up his bed with him sleeping in it. It took him outside the chalet. Of course, when he woke up in the morning, he woke up in the car park. Thinking, what the hell? We put the coffee table next to it and everything. Oh yeah, so you had some great times in Ireland.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, fantastic.
I had great times throughout my life at fishing.
Yeah. That's just some of them.
It's almost like a band of brothers, really.
It is, yeah. It is.
We're all in the same muck heap together, and we all had fun together, you know.
Okay, now you also mentioned about Billy Knott as well. Old Billy.
Old Bill.
You were Old Bill, not young Bill, but Old Bill, yeah. Because I got friendly with Old Bill as well. He borrowed a sieve off me once on the Bristol Avon, and I never got it back off him.
No, you wouldn't.
And of course, he was into. Did he not used to bet or not be a bookmaker on some of the matches?
He was, yeah, but
What was that?
he got in trouble with the tax office.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
He only worked in cash. Did Old Bill. You know, he had an aversion to checks and invoices and this kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
And he used to accumulate vast amounts of money.
Oh.
Couldn't get rid of it, so he used to go to Acapulco or Rio 3 or 4 times a year. And he was there with Ronnie Biggs one day, the great train robber.
Was he really?
And he got the photograph. The photograph was with him, with Ronnie Biggs in the Angling Times. Well, the taxman thought, hang on a minute, this guy doesn't turn enough money go to Rio. That's when he got his passport, and he got his wife to put it in an old pair of jeans and left it in the washing machine for 48 hours. And then when he had to turn up at the tax office with his passport, he put this big pile of slime on the table and said, sorry about that.
It's been in the wash.
That used to be my passport. Billy was a darling, I tell you.
I bet he was. Yeah, well, I got to know his son.
Billy Jr.
Yeah.
Well, he was the worst driver in the world.
Was he?
Oh, God, frightening. You could have a beautiful dual carriageway and he would follow behind you until you got to a blind bend or a humpback bridge, and then he would overtake. Worst driver I've ever known in my life.
Sounds a little bit like Dennis here.
Hang on, just a minute. I'm still here, aren't I?
Yeah, only dressed.
I don't know Billy Knott's still here. Worst driver in the world. That's when we set Waples up on, you know, the big steep hill?
Yeah.
Corner grade.
Yeah, I know.
Cardiac Hill.
Cardiac Hill, yeah.
Waples, born idle the git was. And when me and Billy had to unload all the time, Waples would find an excuse not to. So this one day, right at the top of Corner Grade Hill, I tipped all his tackle out into the back of the van and I loaded his box up with big rocks.
Okay.
Threw it on his shoulder, set off down the hill, and all of a sudden he couldn't stop.
Oh my God.
The only time he stopped was when he got to the river at the bottom of it. Everything went up in the air and he slid majestically head first towards the river. After that he helped us.
I bet he did.
Yeah, but that's when the bugger, he glued the caps on the plastic tube with my rods.
Never. So you're all playing jokes on each other all the time.
Yeah. I said to him, John, you're way out your depth, son, you're
know.
messing with a master. And it was about 3 days later, in a drunken stupor, he woke up 2 o'clock in the morning with 2 naked women in bed with him.
Never. Yeah.
And I had the camera.
You had a camera?
Oh yes, I got the photograph. It went to David Hall's magazine and it was published. Johnny in bed with 2 naked women.
Oh my God.
About 4 weeks later, his wife left him. I don't know why.
I wonder why his wife left him.
No, to eat my way through, you know, the tubes you used to have in the hold all?
Yeah, yeah.
I had to eat my way through to get my rod out to fish a match.
Lad, yeah.
He arrow-dited the things on.
So, remind me never to play a trick on you there, Bill.
Well, Johnny found that out.
Yeah, I know, I heard about it. Anyway, listen, I know, just want to go back a little bit about your float making, because with your float making company, you had some right results there. What I read is that you were buying them off a guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. Yeah, that was good.
Well, I used to do a lot of mail order.
Yeah.
In fact, I could have been a multi-millionaire
Yeah.
knowing what I know now.
Right.
Because I had a company called Eurosport,
Okay. Yeah.
which was the first company, Eurosport, in the land.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I'd registered or patented the name, copyrighted it or whatever,
Yeah. You
I could have
yeah.
syndicated the thing out to television.
Yeah.
It was worth millions. I didn't know anything about it.
No.
So I used to do mail order on these boxes of floats, all the old floats, and I decided to do pole floats one day. So I went over to Ray at Chatteris, and he got these big boxes of old floats where he'd had a cancellation for a European order, and I bought them off him for pennies. But the strange thing about Ray, I think the figure he quoted me was 5,000 quid. I said, oh, come on, that's too much, Ray. I said, I'll give you 4,000. He said, I won't accept a penny less than 3. So I said, done. And I give you 3,000, drove away with them.
Yeah, so I bet you made a few bob on them.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah. They worked out about threepence each, something like that. And I was selling them for 50, 60 pence.
Oh, brilliant.
Daft as a brush he was.
Brilliant. You mentioned, I don't know if you want to talk about it, is Colin Perry?
Colin, yes.
Well, I know Colin because I've been bumping into him lately in the last year or two, picking a couple of matches.
Lovely
So,
man.
did Colin used to have a shop, did he? Or what was your connection with Colin?
Well, when I first made the floats,
Yeah.
Colin was in partnership with John Dean
Okay, all right.
and
yeah.
a chap, something Woods. And the company was Perry Dean and Woods, and they were wholesalers.
Right.
Drove around on the van selling to the tackle shops.
Okay.
And they bought a tackle shop in Mansfield, England, and I used to sell floats to Colin,
Right.
Colin and John Dean,
Okay.
and then they used to take them round to the tackle shops as wholesalers.
Right, okay.
I'll never forgive Colin. You know the golden peg that you have?
Yes, right.
Down my legs, I've got a good entry for these opens. We're probably 200 anglers. And I said, we'll run the golden peg, and what I'll do, I'll take £1
Yeah.
off every angler, and we'll put it in the golden peg. So in a few months, you're going to be fishing for 5, 6, 7,000 quid.
Bloody hell, yeah. You must be one of the first to do that, then. That
Well, I
golden-
don't know, I don't think so, but
No, yeah.
I said, I'll start it off, I'll put £500 in. That's a couple of hundred anglers bugging me, Colin won it.
Never.
First day. I said, you can stuff that, we're not having a golden peg again.
Not doing that, well, Colin's, do you know what?
You're asking about 500 bloody quid, I've never forgiven him for that.
Well, Colin was fortunate. He went on and won the Witchhaven or the Evesham match twice, I think.
right, yeah.
So he's a bloody good angler, he was.
Oh, it's tiny angler.
I think last year he went to fish for the veterans as well. I don't think he done any good, like, but I do. As I say, I fished the Thames Championships last year, and he actually won second in the section, and he sat for the big bream, like. So he's still around, and he's
Oh, yeah,
he's
good
still
angler.
having
The real class act was his partner, John Dean.
Oh yeah, John. Yeah,
You know,
well,
John was
he was a legend, wasn't he?
one of these guys gifted with so much natural ability. It was scary. It really was.
Yeah, he gave up fishing quite quickly, though, didn't he? Or early, I would say.
Reputedly, the swim feeder killed him.
Oh, that killed a lot of anglers. Yeah.
And he would sit down on the train to catch £15 of roach, which nobody else in the country could have done.
Yeah.
And somebody 2 pegs away and toss a plastic pig out and get £25 a job.
Yeah, well, that was that was the end of him.
And I think he just lost interest because of that, really.
Yeah.
At the time, I always thought he gave up because he found it too easy.
Oh, well,
he was that good.
very interesting.
ชมดอกไม้เบ่งบานสลอนคุ้งผามอง ชมดอกไม้เบ่งบานสลอนคุ้งผามอง
I tell you what, Bill, what a fantastic life you've had, and reading your books, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone. Talking about books, yes, talking about books, as I said, it's a great read, Fishing at Tesco's. Obviously, it must be in a grammar education because you write exceptionally well.
Nice of you to say so, Glenn.
No, you do, because you know
We are Welsh.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was dragged up in Wales. I know, brought that. But anyway, you brought a couple of books out. The one, of course, I can't wait to read. Just give you quick illustrations.
Let's have a look.
Oh yes, sad. Nah. Oh yeah. First we have a shower, Billy. Then we have a massage. Okay.
These are two lesbian girls when I first came to Thailand.
Yeah, but well,
Before I met the wife.
oh my God, do they really do that?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, bloody
You'll
hell.
be amazed what they do.
Oh, anyway, this book is called Tits and Teeth. So there you have.
Teeth in Thailand.
In Thailand. So there's a book.
I've
Available on
I've got
Amazon.
5 novels as well as these.
Yes, I was going to say you got some other novels. I think you got some about the ethnic minority, the majority now. I would say.
The,
I know they're taking over the world.
the religion of pieces.
Yeah,
They blow you to pieces.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
that
the
religion.
thing is, they believe in all these virgins, don't they? In the other side, when they get like blown up and that.
Now think of this logically.
Yeah,
You've blown yourself to bits.
yeah.
Presumably you've blown your dick off as well.
Your top is gone. Yeah,
You now go to paradise.
yeah,
You got 72 virgins.
yeah.
Why not have just 3 or 4 Thai girls instead of 72 virgins? God's sake.
I believe I know.
You don't want to train all them, it's
no.
messy anyway.
I tell you what, I love, you wrote an article on the Facebook the other day about Father Christmas, where, you know, if you believe in Father Christmas and you know, when he
Flying
comes down.
animals.
Yeah, that's right.
Flying animals.
Yeah,
1.6 billion Muslims believe
yeah,
that the Prophet Muhammad jumped on a horse with wings and flew 1,000 miles.
yeah,
Then he went up to the 7th heaven
yeah,
several times, came down
Yeah.
and flew back 1,000 miles to Mecca.
yeah.
So if they're having a flying horse, I'm having
Yeah.
8 flying reindeers and Santa Claus.
Which would be better, yeah. Anyway, no, apparently they moved Mecca. Anyway, it's up the north, it was too far to travel, so they moved it down to the south. I read that on the internet somewhere.
Well, all the Qiblas
Yeah.
point to a place called Petra, 600 miles north.
That's it, yeah, that's it, Petra, that's it. Originally, yeah.
Where whenever they've dug up
Yeah,
any area of Mecca
Yeah.
to lay foundations for buildings, they have found no evidence of any early civilization at all. Nobody lived there at the time Muhammad's supposed to have done.
No.
It was a small oasis with one well.
yeah.
Now, according to Muslim tradition, there was bloody hundreds lived there. It was bigger than Blackpool.
Do you know, it's funny because I was in a taxi back home and I was talking to this Muslim driver, I think he was, taxi driver, and I said about your religion. I said, it's only about 700 years old. No, he said, it's been here forever. I said, no, if you read the bloody history books, and this shows how indoctrinated they are, and how they're brainwashed and thinking it's been around for hundreds of years, but millions of years, but it hasn't. It's only been
1400 years, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
But the biography of Muhammad was only written 200 years after he's supposed to have died.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Nothing written down. So somebody's got a bloody good memory.
No, I tell you what, I'd love to become a Buddhist anyway, and reincarnation. That's the religion I like to be. Would you?
I want to be reincarnated as a woman so I can marry me.
Well, I want to come back as a woman's bicycle seat.
Oh, no. Hillary Clinton might have been sat on it.
Oh, no, the thought of that. Oh. Okay, well, I'm just going to conclude in a minute this interview. I could talk to Billy all day long because he got some great stories. I would recommend you reading his book and follow his articles in the Max Fiction magazine. I'd like to talk a little bit, just at the end now, is about Mike Bard. Now, he's the guy who does all the illustrations.
Mike, yes.
Yeah, no, Mike, I think I've seen him in your bar once, but when I went in your bar, he put all these cartoon characters on in the toilets.
That's right, yes.
That's
I call him Uncle Albert.
He looks a bit like
He looks like Uncle Albert from Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
Tremendous artist. He used to sit there and... I don't know where it is, not Speaker's Corner, wherever it is down London, where all the artists and artisans sit.
Right.
And he used to paint. And rich Americans used to come along, see the painting, and give me quite a lot of money.
Never.
Oh yes, and he did this for a while, and the taxman suddenly decided to chase him.
Oh, right.
I think that's why he came to Thailand.
That's why Thailand.
But he's very
talented.
good.
Very talented. Isn't he?
So, in fact, if you look here, this is one of Mike's.
Oh, right, okay.
I drew it up, I designed it the way I wanted it, then Mike drew the thing properly.
And the same with
and the similar one there.
Oh, right.
Now this book is all full of Mike's illustrations.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
This book, however, is full of actual photographs that I've taken during my
your career,
existential life over it.
But I tell you what, guys, I mean, if ever you come to Thailand, you want to come and meet Billy and have a chat with him. As I say, he got some great stories, and he was a legend in the fishing world, and started from scratch, ending up with being the first commercial fishery, and and a float manufacturing company. And if you had your time again, Billy, would you change anything?
Yes.
Oh, you would?
I'd have been gay, so the wives couldn't have took all my money off me.
There you are. What a character, Bill. Anyway, Billy, thanks for the interview, and as I said, nice to meet you. Hopefully I'll be back again shortly this year, later on in the year, and come back to see you again. And thank you very much, Bill.
And give my regards to the sheep, okay?
The cheeky son.
Never once, ever, did they beat breadcrumb. Never once.
Say that again then, Bill, because that was interesting what you said then.
I built a garden pond.
Yeah.
It would only be about maybe 6 foot. So, me and Ray Mills used to sit there. So our floats would be maybe 5 foot apart. I would feed breadcrumb. Ray would feed whatever was fashionable.
Fashionable, yeah.
Oh, don't forget, these things were just coming in.
Right, okay. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, but the census contract with Trevor Tomlin was actually signed at my house.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What year was that? Do you remember roughly?
Oh, bugger. No.
No, okay. No, because...
we'd all heard of census.
Yeah.
But Trevor took on the contract, and the guy came over from France. We had the meeting round my house. And I always remember it. he had a briefcase that was perspex, and it was all partitioned.
Was it? Yeah.
And in each partition, he'd got all sorts of things, you know. It was like an Indian restaurant, basically. With you could have made a bloody good curry out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I had serious misgivings about it, whether it would work or not. But Trev Tomlin then took on the contract to distribute census on that night around my house.
Was it really?
In England, yeah.
Because Downsy got involved as well then. At the
But he worked for Trevor.
Oh, he worked for Trevor.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Trevor anyway?
I don't know.
No, he sort of disappeared.
Well, he controlled census. Then, of course, he made the catapults.
Yeah.
Without me knowing, he used my picture on
Did he?
on all the catapults.
Well, with no royalties.
He was a friend, so it didn't really
No, it didn't matter. But you probably know, Billy, I started making ground bait back in the late 80s because back home we couldn't get continental ground baits, and of course when we fish abroad, when we fish all these continental, all the international matches, they were bringing out all these like super duper special ground baits, we thought.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, the British angler only ever used breadcrumb.
That's all.
You know, and
I would never say that there is no attractant.
Yeah. Well,
I've not found. I found it for perch.
yeah.
Dry perch crazy.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a fluke, but on the article I wrote about. I used to love reading Richard Walker's article.
Yeah.
Dick Walker.
Yeah.
And I'd only be a kid, and he told the story. He had an aquarium with perch in it. He got a bucket of water, and he dropped a lobworm in. Left it for a few minutes, stirred the water around, then put a couple of drops in his aquarium, and the perch went crazy. So you're looking at, parts per million.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
The perch detected it.
Yeah.
And they were going crazy looking for food. So yes, it is possible to put something in ground bait that is a fish attracting.
Right. In my studies, I kept fish for like 20 odd years, right? And I know that a lot of fish do feed when there's certain amino acids in the water.
Yes.
So, which is...
Well, that's probably what the lobworm was emitting.
Yeah.
But the conclusion I came to in my little pool was whatever we mixed in with, say, raised ground bait, as opposed to my just normal breadcrumb, the fish took it on as like a pollutant in the water, not an attractant.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it's because he was a confined space.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, as you know, with all my ground baits, I talk about this because I got a website and I talk about where attractants, as well as this, amino acids, but it's more on visual. A lot of fish, if the ground bait sort of effervescence, fizzes, is more an attraction than the actual smell sometimes. So I don't know if you ever come across that. Maybe not.
Occasionally, when we used to fish the bread, we'd mix milk.
Right. Okay.
Which would put the cloud in with the ground bait.
Right. I can honestly say some of the best bags I've ever had have always been on loose feed, even though I sell ground bait. I know it's a terrible thing to say, but
Well, what I also tell in this article, I had a very big aquarium in my house.
Yeah.
And if I got, say, 20, 30 pinkies, drop them in one side, the fish would graze.
Yeah.
They'd swim there, they'd pick up one and then swim round.
Yeah.
And then, as an experiment, I'd put the 20, 30 pinkies in one side of the aquarium, and then I'd go to the other side, and I would drop one in, say, every 10, 20 seconds. And every fish in the aquarium went to the side where the bait was falling down. They were now competing.
Yeah. Right.
Now they could have swum to the other side and eaten whatever they wanted to. They didn't want to.
They didn't want to, that's right.
They got the shoal instinct to compete.
Exactly, and this has always been my theory.
Which is what you just exactly reinforces what you've just said.
And that's why I make my ground baits on a very similar vein.
Yes,
to be honest with you, yeah.
I can understand that. And people used to say, well, we're gudgeon fishing, the bottom feeders, put 3 or 4 big balls of ground bait down. If you sit next to them and you trickle a little bit in every time, even a bottom feeder like a gudgeon, which is a shoal fish, and it's programmed to compete.
It is.
For food.
It's all about competing, yeah.
Straight away, he's competing for whatever is falling down. He's not competing for what is on the bottom.
Exactly, yeah.
And that is the way I always conducted my gudgeon fishing. So I always kept something going through the water at all times.
Yeah. And it's the same with most fish, so that's a big lesson for everyone who's watching this one.
Except bream.
They're great.
It doesn't work for bream. Bream are grazers. And even when they're in the shoal fish, as a shoal, they're not competing. They're swimming around, grazing as and when they want to.
Yeah.
So dropping it through the water does not work for bream.
Yeah. Well,
it's the only species I know that it doesn't work for.
Well, most of my ground bait, I mix certain ground baits with species of fish, and that is exactly what you're telling me now. With all years experience, is exactly what I do with my ground baits. I make certain ground baits for roach, certain ground baits for bream, and one will effervesce and the other won't.
Yes.
And that's exactly, and I'm glad I got somebody like, obviously with your experience to actually confirm everything that I do is correct.
Well, you got something right anyway.
Cheeky son.
'em. You realise,
Under the brum.
you realise you've wasted 20 flipping years learning the skill of casting, controlling, feeding, striking, and someone pushes like 12, 14 metres of carbon across.
The thing is though, Bill, we still didn't know how to feed properly. That was the one saving grace.
Well, yes, but don't forget the accuracy you developed throwing ground bait, say 15 metres on a canal. That was negated by sticking a cup on the top of your pole and tipping it on top of the float.
Yeah, but when? That's the one thing.
Well,
What we're talking about then is that a lot of anglers sort of more or less give up on the fishing when the swim feeders, but also, like Billy was saying, with the canals, with the waggler, there was only a certain amount of anglers that could do that, and when the people come along with a pole, obviously it took the advantage away from the good anglers who could fish the waggler.
See, there was a lot of swims with overhanging trees or brambles that 90% of the field couldn't fish. When the long pole came out, 100% of the anglers could fish. So what happened is these superb but difficult swims now started to dominate the matches rather than the anglers. And like I said, there's only probably half a dozen anglers who could actually fish such a difficult swim. But now every single angler in the field with a long pole could now do that.
Because you made a video, it's on YouTube by the way, folks, where you done a teaching video on the canal, and it was all like with a wackler and
I fished 3 different swims with one setup.
Okay,
basically.
Yeah.
But it was at the time when poles were beginning to dominate, so perhaps it was a little bit late.
Did you ever get into pole fishing yourself, or?
Yes, I did a lot of pole
You
fishing.
did, yeah. You've done a bit of pole fishing, yeah. Because I noticed in your book as well, you mentioned fly fishing quite a bit. And you done a bit of fly fishing, have you? I mean,
When I packed in match fishing, I spent 2 or 3 years just fishing the rivers on my own.
Yeah.
For some strange reason, I suddenly became attracted to fly fishing, and it became almost an obsession.
Okay.
And after a while of catching trout on the big reservoirs in the Midlands, it became too easy.
Yeah.
You sort of, if you match fishermen, you're looking for a way of catching more fish.
Yeah.
Whereas the normal fly angler would just think, oh, I'll just change the fly. But the different ways of fishing, if you're a match fisherman, you'd be trying them, and you'd sooner or later hit upon a method, you're catching the trout every cast, and it became too easy.
Yeah.
And I got into fly fishing in the sea.
In the sea?
Yeah, but not in England.
No, it was in Florida Keys, I think, wasn't it? Or...
A lot in the Keys, the Bahamas. This was in the days before the housing crash and 2 divorces, when I had some money.
Oh, right. Before the women took all your money. I know what you mean. Oh, fair Okay, right. I'm just going to ask Billy. Obviously, you went from being one of the top match anglers in the country, and obviously through your businesses, you made a lot of money, and you had a bit of fly fishing. So, when did you more or less give up match fishing? Was it through the divorces, like?
No, it was.
No.
I wasn't enjoying it so much, and then I was fishing a match one day at Nordbury Junction. I think that's Trent Mersey.
Right.
And I drew opposite the boat. Only looked a half reasonable swim, and just as the whistle went for all in, a guy got on the boat and he started welding.
Welding? All right.
And I first cast across, he struck up, and I was blinded.
Yeah.
And my float went flying over the boat, up a tree, and I thought, I don't deserve this.
Did I ever tell you I gave him 50 quid to do that?
I thought, hang on a minute, no matter how hard I work, how much I practice, this isn't fair. It's not a level playing field any longer.
Okay.
And I said to the guy next to me, there was only about 5 minutes in the match, I said, that's it, I finished. He said, you going on? I said, no, I finished. Picked up match fishing. Joke. I said, no, that's it, done. And I never fished a match again.
What a shame. How old were you then, Bill, when that happened?
Probably about 40, I suppose.
40 years, okay. All right, and you mentioned in your book as well about dogs, and you've had some cracking dogs.
My pit bull.
Yeah, over the years. That one pit bull, you said, which had a hair between his legs, enough to frighten a donkey, wasn't it?
Oh, scare a donkey. When people say, my dog kill a cat, but he couldn't eat a whole one. He could, and he did. He could eat a whole cat. And I lived down in the country, and the only house within a mile was an old farmhouse. And there's this silly youngish woman.
Yeah.
It was a greenie who lived next door in the old farmhouse.
Yeah.
And she was one of these animal lovers.
Right.
She got horses, sheep, bulls, and about 20 odd cats. And I noticed one night my dog wouldn't eat his food.
Yeah.
So, what's wrong? Something wrong with the dog. Anyway, around midnight I'd hear the voice, Miss Tiddles, Miss Tiddles. I was this silly old cow next door looking for the cat that was now in my dog's stomach.
Oh,
And she started out with 20 odd cats, and when she got down to 3, she sold up and disappeared.
oh, that's good.
Saved me fortune.
I'm going to say, save your fortune of bloody food.
Ah,
I know the cat lovers are going to kill you, and the Muslims.
oh, they love me.
Yeah.
I caught him one day. She had a bull.
Yeah.
And all her animals she had castrated. All the dogs castrated.
Yeah.
Horses, bull.
She was a spin size spec, was she?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
only
right.
in like a mid-30s. And one day, I've gone outside and my pit bull is reared up against the fence looking at this bull. I said, no, Todd, no, stick to the cats.
Stick to the
Don't
cats.
put in that bloody bull, whatever you do.
But you know, reading in your book as well that you did like dogs generally.
I love dogs, yes.
yeah,
I love dogs.
Yeah.
Pitbull was the best dog I ever had. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
You are fantastic. Right, Bill. Now I want to ask you, because you've had a fulfilled life, you've had a great match fishing success. I think you fished for England once, did you? I think.
Oh, I had a
Sort of a trial and
few moments in Ireland.
Yeah.
When Stan Smith phoned me up, I turned him down. I wasn't interested.
Yeah, you know. Okay, that's fair enough.
I don't do teams. I'm not a team player,
No, you.
and I would have let the team down.
That's fair enough, because I've been accused of being an individual player as well. So I know you're coming from. But anyway, I want to come back to the time that you decided you sold everything to I think was it the
British Waterways.
The British Waterways. You sold all your fisheries, yeah?
Yes.
And you got a fair bit of money for it. You want to tell us, or
I got by, yeah.
you got by? Yeah. Was it a couple of million, or well,
I got by.
You got by. Okay, all right. But anyway, from there, of course, you decided, I think, to go to Spain. I think you retired to Spain. Did you? Was it straight away, or did you? Do
I
something?
wanted to escape somewhere where there's no extradition treaty. The taxman couldn't get me back.
Oh, fair enough.
So I went to Tenerife.
Yeah.
And left a forwarding address of Alice Springs, Northern Territories, Australia. For the taxman. And there's probably somebody still going around knocking on doors asking for me over there.
Oh, fair enough. And then, of course, I think you were there. You were in the. Where were you exactly? Majorca, or?
No, I was in Tenerife.
Oh, Tenerife. Sorry.
On the golf course, Golf House.
Okay, and then I think you were telling me then you decided enough was enough there, and then you went to Thailand for.
I had a slight problem with the wife.
Yeah. Which one? The first one? Second?
I can't remember which one.
I can't remember which one.
And she said, I need a bit of space.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, this 7,000 miles, son, is that far enough?
Yeah.
And that was nearly 8 years ago. I've never been back since.
Oh, fair enough.
I believe the welcome mat's been taken away from the front door now.
Probably by now.
Yeah, I sold the villa over there now anyway.
So, what did you do? Did you come to Thailand just for a holiday, or did you?
I come for 2 week holiday.
For a 2 week, and you decided you like it?
Yeah, this is all right.
This is all right.
I came for 2 weeks golf and I never played. I was bemused. I was amazed.
What was going on?
I'd been married for so long. And
yeah, I know.
Bit by bit, I'd got older, the wife had got older, and all of a sudden I'm surrounded by like 18, 20-year-old totties.
I know, yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I thought, this is Fantasy Island.
Yeah, the older you are, the better they like it.
Oh, absolutely. So allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. So I know you got 2 bars, you got plenty of women, probably all chasing you for your money, but you married one in the end, or?
She calls it marriage.
Well,
ties, you know.
Yeah, but you're happy.
She wants to get married. I've told her we've only been together 7 years. I don't want to rush things.
No, it takes the time to think about these things, doesn't it?
Give it another 6, 7 years.
Yeah, not like me. Bloody hell. 3 years and I'm married to one.
Silly bugger.
I know, silly bugger. You heard that from the horse's mouth.
7 years. I don't want to rush these things.
No.
I rushed the other 2, so I don't want to rush this.
I tell you what, Bill, what a fantastic life you've had, and reading your books, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone.